Hello everyone, today I'm here to update you all on the new requirements for Spain. This is effective immediately. So just a few things before I get fully into the video. First of all, I'm still away, I'm not at home, so just bear with the sound and the lighting. Also, everything I mention, I will link it in the description below, so please check those links out just in case anything does change. And I will also, as always, do my best to keep this video updated. By doing so, I will put any updates in the top of the description, which is underneath this video, or I will also pin a comment down below in the comment sections. So please, again, check those out if you're watching this a little bit after it was released. Or alternatively, you can also stay updated with any of the rule changes through any of my social medias up here. Just give them a follow and I will be posting updates as things change. Also, you can ask me any questions you may have on this on any of my social medias or in the comments down below. And I will do my best to get back to you as quick and as best as possible. Finally, if this video helped, I would really appreciate it if you could hit that like button and if you could subscribe. And with that, let's get into the video. So I am making this video on the 21st of May, and today Spain have just changed the rules to allow those unvaccinated to enter Spain. Previously, only those who were EU citizens or under 18 were able to enter Spain unvaccinated, but now they have opened it up to all. So now to enter Spain, you need one of three things, and I'm going to run through what you need quickly, and then I will go through each individual one in a lot more detail. So you either need proof of vaccination, or proof of recovery, or a negative COVID test. Some of you will also be required to complete the Spanish health form, and I will talk through that after I talk about the testing requirements. So let's start with proof of vaccination. So, the vaccination certificate must have been issued by the competent authorities of the country of origin at least 14 days after the date of administration of the final dose of the complete course of vaccination, as long as the final dose of that course of vaccination was no more than 270 days ago. From that time, the certificate must show the administration of a booster vaccination. So basically what that means is if you received your second dose of the vaccine over 270 days ago, you are considered unvaccinated unless you have had the booster. If you've had the booster, that's fine, there's no expiry date on the booster. But if you're over those 270 days, then you will either need to take a negative test, show proof of recovery, or have the booster. Alternatively, if you've recently received your second dose, then just make sure a full 14 days has passed since having that dose before you travel to Spain. So then just to confirm, if you're between the 14 and 270 day window, then you're considered fully vaccinated. If you've had the booster, there's no expiry date. Now for those aged 12 to 18, the rules are slightly different. You are actually considered fully vaccinated if you've had just 2 doses of the vaccine. Those aged 12 to 18 do not require the booster. There's no 270 day rule for them, but if you had the booster, that's fine. That also means you're fully vaccinated too. So on to the vaccines that Spain accept. So they will accept vaccines approved by either the EMA or the WHO. But they also state that certificates with vaccines not authorised by these bodies are also accepted, but the last dose administered must be one of the authorised ones. And I will link details of that below too. So let's move on to proof of recovery. So the recovery certificate must be issued by the competent authority or a medical service at least 11 days after the first positive NAAT test, which is a PCR test or equivalent, or a rapid antigen detection test. The certificate will be valid for 180 days from the date of the first positive diagnostic test result. So if you want to use proof of recovery, you must have tested positive within 11 to 180 days ago. For this, if you're from the UK, if you took an NHS PCR test, you can show your NHS COVID pass. Alternatively, you can get a private recovery certificate. If you need a private recovery certificate, then I have made a video on this. You can watch that up there on how to get one, or alternatively, it will be linked down below. Okay, so let's move on to the new requirements about testing. So this is how you can enter Spain if you're unvaccinated with a negative test. So your testing options, you can either enter with an NAAT test, which is basically a PCR test or similar, or an antigen test. So if you decide to take the NAAT test, which the most common one is a PCR test, then this must be carried out in the 72 hours prior to departure. Alternatively, if you're taking an antigen test, such as a lateral flow, this must be carried out in the 24 hours prior to departure. So for a PCR test, it's 72 hours before departure. For an antigen test, which is like a lateral flow, it must be taken within 24 hours before departure. I will link a selection of the cheapest and recommended tests down below with links and discount codes. So if you're from the UK, check those out. Unfortunately, they are only if you're in the UK. Again, if you are from the UK, you cannot take an NHS test. You will have to unfortunately purchase a private test. And I've stated this previously in other videos, but if you are taking a test, I always recommend an antigen test because you generally get your results within an hour. So you don't have to worry about not getting your results in time, and also they are generally cheaper. And finally, children under the age of 12 are exempt from all restrictions, so they do not require anything. So now let's talk about this health form. So if you hold an EU digital COVID certificate or EU equivalent of vaccination against COVID-19, or a negative test or certificate of recovery, you are no longer required to complete the Spanish health form. So let me explain this. So if you do not hold an EU certificate or EU equivalent, then you will be required to complete the form. Alternatively, if you do hold one of these, then you don't need to complete the form. So this means that to avoid completing the form, your certificate must be an EU digital certificate or equivalent. So, for example, if you have the NHS COVID pass for proof of vaccination or the NHS COVID pass for proof of recovery, this is considered EU equivalent and you do not have to complete the form. So this here is a list of current countries that are considered equivalent. So if you're from one of these countries and you hold like the digital vaccination certificate, then you do not need to complete the form. I will link this list down below so you can check in case there has been any updates to this list. If you're unsure as to whether your certificate will be accepted or not, then you can go onto the website and click I have an EU certificate or equivalent, and from there it will let you fill out your details and upload your document, whether that be a vaccination certificate, proof of recovery or negative test. And what it will do is it will validate it. It will either say validated. If so, you do not need to complete the form. If it says not valid, then you will have to complete the health form. I do already have a video up on how to complete this form, but it is a bit outdated. So I will be making another one very shortly, so stay tuned for that. And when it's made, it will be linked in the description down below, so keep an eye on that. Alternatively, if you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, then you will know as soon as it has been uploaded. And that is everything you need. I hope I have covered everything. Any questions you have, like I said, you can reach out to me on any of my social medias, or you can also comment them down below. I will also be regularly updating my social medias, so make sure you follow. If this video helped, I would really appreciate it if you could give it a like and you could subscribe. Thank you all for watching, stay safe and happy travelling!